I'm so excited about this. I've been planning it since summer. We're in episode 1 of the Winter Arc series. And if you're not familiar with it, Winter Arc refers to the periods from end of September to end of December, this pre-New Year thing. It's sort of like the antidote to New Year's resolution, because instead of starting on January 1st, we are going to use the final quarter of the year to make improvements and positive changes in your life. In this very first episode, we are going to talk about the core pillars of my version of the Winter Arc, and that is the soft, steady baby steps type approach, the importance of making time for yourself to make this change possible, and the somatic connection and why I ground everything in it. So if you are only interested in one of these, please feel free to skip over to the timestamp, and otherwise stay with me because yay, let's go. So the reason why I love Winter Arc is because when I found out about it last year, I recognized the practice that I have been already doing for most of my adult life. And that's something I have been doing intuitively, usually prior to New Year, but also before like my major birthdays. I had my sort of birthday arc before my 30th, and I'm now in 6 months turning 40, and I'm also like entering a kind of half a year personal improvements journey. So I love this concept. I'm not a fan of New Year's resolutions, honestly. Somehow it never worked for me. And statistics also show that New Year's resolutions are not super effective for most people. But I do love the concept of going with the flow of seasons changing. I think it's very intuitive, and I think that autumn and spring are perfect periods for doing something new. And here, talking about our very first pillar of my version of the Winter Arc, we're talking about a slow, steady pace, baby steps, gentle change with self-compassion, because we have this generous amount of time, these 3 months leading up to New Year. And I noticed both in my own life and in my health coaching practice that it's usually the very small, steady changes that tend to stick long term. And I'm an Aries sun sign, but also like I was recently talking to one of my friends, I realized like most of my major planets in my birth chart are fire, and basically it's all fire, 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 except my Scorpio rising. And I have like this tendency to crash and burn. So that's something I've been working on my entire life, and maybe that's why New Year's resolutions don't tend to stick with me, because I have like this thing where I would like, okay, I'm going to commit to this, and like go all in on everything, burn out, get stuck, stop everything. So instead of this, for me, in that sense, symbolically, this Winter Arc approach is helping me use my fire in a tamed way, sort of like building a fireplace and containing it and allowing it to be like a steady, warming presence, which fuels the transformation. And also, just like in my health coaching, I always emphasize the importance of bio-individuality, and that's meaning that whatever I'm sharing here and whatever I will be sharing in the upcoming episodes, please only take what resonates with you, what is possible for you, and adapt things. It's all supposed to work for you and for your unique life. I also invite you, if you feel like it, to track your progress, or at least write out like your intentions and what you would like to achieve, but like in realistic ways, and see and compare in the end of this Winter Arc period what has changed, what you have achieved. That will be an important part of our final episode for celebrating our progress. And it's also totally normal. It's actually good, I believe, to make changes to this plan. So don't overthink it. I have a tendency. I'm also like in this transformation program I'm in. When we were asked to write up like a personal statement of things. I was overthinking it majorly, like it has to be perfect. But then I thought, oh, and actually my teacher gave us a permission. They said like, it can change. You realize that as you're changing, your goals and wishes and what you want to achieve will also change. And it's actually a good sign that transformation is working. So without overthinking it, just like brain dump what you want on paper. And I can tell you also from coaching experience, most of the times when I talk to my clients, if I just ask them to tell me like their 3 major goals, like why they want health coaching, they always have like, these are the first things that come up without even having to think about it. So if you only have 1 or 2 or 3 goals you want to work on, that's enough, that's good enough. And a few weeks in, maybe you add something or you change something. So that's a good exercise because it allows you to sort of track your progress and to make it more measurable. Goals, smart goals, very effective, but at least the measurability component is so easy when you sort of record where you're starting from, where you're going to, and then see how much you've progressed. Now to our second pillar, the somatic connection, and that just means being in tune with your body, connecting with your body, making time to connect with your body daily. That is the foundation of everything for me and foundation of what I use in my coaching practice. I actually, when I talk about like my healing journey and all the transformations I've undergone, I always start with when I was 14 years old and I started weight training with dumbbells and the kettlebell, and how that has been sort of this anchoring point in my life. And later, of course, all the other practices followed, and therapy and spirituality and yoga and Reiki and health coaching. But this original connection with my body is what I believe allowed me to get to all the further steps. It is so simple. And while in the rest of the series, I will be sharing different tools I use personally and with my clients, and also share in my course, which by the way is linked in the description, which are all aiming at balancing the nervous system. It's all about nervous system regulation via somatic connection. But the very first sort of homework I encourage you to do after this first episode is to identify just 1 or 2 or 3 simple things you can do to connect with your body, which you can start now, like today, whatever you're watching. It has to be something that makes you happy, or at least like doesn't make you unhappy, something you can look forward to. And it has to be something anchored in your body. So just off the top of my head, like maybe, I don't know, do some exercises for a couple of minutes a day, or taking a little walk during lunch, or some breath work, anything that you can think of that you can realistically do where you feel your body. And the importance of it is, well, two sides. The first important thing is it can be a very short amount of time per day. Where in week 1, be gentle with yourself. Rome wasn't built in a day. So as an example, it can be just like a sequence of 3 simple exercises, like 1 minute each. Or it can be a 10-minute walk around the block. Something that doesn't require you to change things too much. But I promise you, when you start doing it, and you can track it as well if you'd like to, you will get like the sense of momentum and the sense of connection with yourself, which will facilitate all the other changes we're going to talk about in the rest of this series. And the reason why I always believe that somatic connection is essential is because in modern society especially, we are in the environment and in the condition where we are very cerebral. And I am a very cerebral person. I'm like, my brain can be my worst enemy. Like I've lived through years and years of anxiety and periods of depression. I'm a huge overthinker by default. I can overthink overthinking. But it's connection with my body via grounding practices that gets me out of my head. And the modern society with so much information from every direction, it's like our brains are not meant to handle that much, honestly. I personally believe that evolutionarily our brains were not built to handle so much stuff coming in, flooding every day. So we will talk about it in one of the future episodes, about limiting that and how we can do that. But for now, I just invite you to make a bit of time, as much as you can realistically do, already starting now. Maybe it's even 60 seconds, come on. Anybody can do something for a minute. And just something that connects you, grounds you back in your body. And share in the comments, by the way. I'm super curious as to what you choose, and maybe it will change in the upcoming weeks, but I'm very curious to hear what you chose, and maybe together we can brainstorm and create this nice community sharing. And the last pillar, the third pillar, about making space for yourself and for your changes and transformation, that's actually sort of a multi-dimensional pillar, because we're talking both about the actual time that you can start thinking about making in your day, because any kind of changes, they do require time and energy. So if you can think about where in your day, maybe in the morning or in the evening or during lunch break, you can make this time for yourself, that would be very useful for the rest of the winter arc transformation. And the other facet of it is the energetic side, and that is, well, it's part energetic, part just psychological. We do tend to think about a lot of things, and energetically sometimes getting entangled with energies which are not inherently ours. And it's very important to protect our energies. Like I am at a point where I have decluttered so much from my life, and I keep very sort of safe bubble space in my life, both in terms of actual space and energetic space. So whenever anything comes in and it doesn't entirely resonate, it brings like this kind of muddled energy and gets me in my cerebral space, in my brain, and overthinking, it has to be decluttered as well. So I'm not asking you to immediately come up with solutions, but maybe you can think of what are the things which maybe preoccupy you every day, which are tiring, because stress can be tiring, I know it. But if you can reclaim some of the time and energy for yourself and for your winter arc, that will be the foundation of this beautiful change. So this is a huge part of my own winter arc commitment, is to make more time and space for myself and my own things. And I have actually already made a very big step to it. I think I've mentioned a few videos ago that I haven't been on a retreat for a couple of years, and I am going on a retreat, and something I'm looking forward to. I may potentially record something while I'm there, but just to share. But I'm so looking forward to it, because it's with like-minded people. It's beautiful, like female energy, mountains and fresh air. I really need it, even if it's just one weekend. So that's my first step in my winter arc. And please share with me, share in the comments what you think about it, how it resonates, what are your ideas and intentions for this rest of the year period. And I'm really excited about doing this. Thank you so much for being here with me today, and I'll see you here next Thursday for episode 2. Looking forward to reading your comments, and I'm wishing you a great day wherever you are. Bye!